the invasion as we were running a bit late, but trust and believe that we are currently live on our Facebook page as well as YouTube. We are joined by a gorgeous guest who's wearing one of my favorite colors, Lady in Black. How I love it with the red lipstick just to pop out.
I'm very well, thank you. Piwe kunjani kuwe?
I'm good. I'm good. I'm happy that you're here.
Definitely happy as well.
Virtual. My heart is like, so virtual. Yeah, but get I can't chance I really love it.
Yeah.
So let's get straight into business. You
Mhm.
know, eyona guest is this lady. She's not only just an MC, she's not only just a blogger and entrepreneur, but she's actually an author of a book, 18 Moments with the Holy Spirit. And we're going to be finding out more about it. Kindly introduce yourself.
All right, thank you so much, Piwe. Firstly, just to say thank you so much for the opportunity as well, and greetings kuba puli ekaya. My name is LOYISO MAKISI, born and bred right here in East London. I come from a family of 3 children, 2 boys, and I'm the last born.
What?
So yeah. So I'm the last born and the only girl. So yeah, it's been that kind of a journey as well, where I've become all of the things that you've mentioned, but also I am a born again child of God as well, and making sure that I just glorify God with each and everything that I do.
Oh, I love that. You're a PR officer, a
Yeah.
public relations officer. How did that come about?
All right. Actually, when I did a choice of career, I was actually telling myself that I'd love to work with big brands, in the sense of certain companies that are doing so well in the public and are followed. So I made sure that I do something like that. So my first choice wasn't actually public relations. I promise you. I was a bit confused when I finished grade 12, but I was like, okay, let's make my second choice that. And then ultimately, I was actually taken for it. Then I studied public relations at CPUT. Then I graduated as well. Then started following in the league of even starting my own company while on the side working as well. So I've been now from different companies and different places becoming the PRO.
And are you loving it? I think that's the one question I always ask a lot of people. But you're just there, for certain reasons. Are you loving what you're
No,
doing?
I definitely love it. To be honest, ndiyayithanda into endikholisayo.
Okay.
I don't like something which I'm just gonna go to and I'm not passionate about. But I love it when it makes me grow. I love it when it teaches me new things and makes me meet new people. So definitely PR is doing it for me, and I wouldn't change my choice of career for anything else. I love it. I literally am for it in each and everything that I do.
Oh my, I love that. I love that. I love that. You're definitely a go-getter. I'm picking up a lot of things. Where there's growth, you trust me. When you're definitely there. But just before we continue, we are joined by Umfundisi Ntiso Ndiyambona kwakunye ke nosipho sethu Ndiyambona, also joined by Bud Hendrik naye sithi ke usegoli. Sawubona webhuti, sawubona, siyabingelela thina on the side of town.
Yes.
Let's get to moments with the Holy Spirit.
Yeah,
Girl,
man.
tell me more about it.
Hey, all right. I actually started writing a book which I haven't published yet. So it just started off with a book writing about my life, in general, everything that I've been through, the challenges, the beauty of having Christ in my life, and accepting him as well, how he gets to take me out of challenges and the things that he's done for me as well. But then a certain night, literally, I just took my laptop with such an angry, how can I put it? Angry feeling, if I can put it like that. And literally, I just took my laptop, went to Word, and I just started writing. And I wrote the words, Moments with the Holy Spirit. Immediately I wrote that, I knew that's a book basically
itself.
that I'm writing. Yes, I knew that's definitely a book that I'm writing. But the question for me was in between the fact that I'm still writing one, which I know that it still has a lot of journey for me to walk in before it even gets finished. But I understood that right now there's another one that I'm literally being placed on the spot for to write it. And then okay, fine. Certain memories and certain things started coming in my mind, and I just started typing and writing it off, and each and everything that I have went through. It was also on the book, but the book is more mainly about saying to a young person, that the Holy Spirit is there to work the journey with you.
Mm, mm.
He's there to be your friend. He's there to be your comforter. He's there to be each and everything that you need him to be. So I believe that it was placed so much in my heart that we may know as the generation that the Holy Spirit is there and he wants to live life with us.
Yes,
He wants
yes.
to help us to actually become better people and a better generation, I believe. Because a lot of times we can say that we have Jesus Christ and we have accepted him, but we would tend to not acknowledge the one he has left us with. And day in and day out, we need to rise up and acknowledge that what's the truth for my day,
Mm, mm.
because the Bible does say that he's been left, so that he may tell us the truth.
Yes.
So
Mm.
we need him to tell us that today, what's my truth? If it's something that's going to hurt me, at least I know about it and I know that I'll find comfort in him.
Yes,
If it's
yes.
something that's going to encourage me, then at least I know and I'm ready for it and prepared for it. Because the biggest thing in life that's tragic, it's for you to live life and yet miss out on the beautiful moments you were supposed to know and see. So the book is mainly about that, to say that understand and know that there's a spirit with you, a spirit that was left to ensure that you can come through. But I don't just write about the Holy Spirit, but I write about my own experiences, in the sense that I am very personal, to get into points where, for example, my parents are divorced. And at that point, I was in varsity, and I already knew before I went home that they will get to a point of
Mm,
signing those
mm,
divorce papers. I believe that it's not something that's nice for any child
mm,
to see
mm.
their parents being divorced, but I was already prepared, in the sense of spiritually, mentally, and all of those things, because I was already told that they will get to the point of being divorced, and I was told of the reason why the divorce happened itself, and and later on, what it would cause me to become and what I
Yes.
need to
Mm,
choose
mm,
to
mm.
become. Because at some point, once such a thing happens, you can either become a person who's bitter, who's
Mm.
angry, who is hating families that are united and are living together, or you can either strive to become that and also help other people who are going through the same challenge
Okay. Mm,
become
mm.
better and become a better person as well.
Lois, I want you to quickly take me to a place whereby the moment you hear that your parents are getting divorced,
Mhm.
what effect did it have on you negatively? Because I mean, you've mentioned that you're in varsity. I'm imagining your
Yeah.
studies. There should have been a point whereby Nyanke Bomini, you were left, in fact, you were put into a corner
Mhm.
whereby maybe the Holy Spirit, you'd feel as if "Bamoya Ngcwele uphi na?"
Yeah.
And if you went into a point yokuba ngabozibuza uba "Moya Ngcwele uphi na?"
Mm.
how did the Holy Spirit come through?
All right, it's a beautiful question. Thank you for that. Basically, as I did say, I went through a lot when it comes to that. It wasn't a nice journey,
Mm.
but he comforted me a lot. Immediately as I knew that, obviously, it's not something that you can easily accept. I tried to pray to say, like, Lord, come on, if you're able to change things, then
Change
ultimately
this.
change this one. If you are a God who says that you are able to bring people together, so why aren't you bringing them
Mm,
together?
mm.
If you are a solution to each and everything, then why can't you be a solution in this matter itself? And I was like, Lord, I've prayed literally year in and year out, but the only thing I'm saying is that my family is becoming destroyed, and I'm not finding any beauty of you saying that you're bringing it together as well. So I then started asking questions. Well, I started praying off those prayers, that if you are God and you literally say that you are Christ, then make it happen, make them come together and all of those things. And the matter at hand was that no, they will not. Ultimately, the decision has been made by both of them. And literally, though, it will groom something out of you as a person, to say that you will not be able to watch another child. For example, this is what I was told basically, that you will be able to stand in the gap for other families that will be facing the same situation. Because and I was like, but I can pray to you and you make those things happen. Or the people within that family can pray to you and literally make sure that they come together. And he was like, no, what if there's a scenario of two children who are very young, literally, let's say in the ages of 5, 6 years old. Those children don't know anything about prayer. They can't pray for their families. Instead, their parents will be hating each other and not wanting to do anything with each other. So who's gonna stand in the gap for them? You know? So I was like, ish, okay. But why does it have to be me? Sorry. So why does it have to be me? Then he was like, it's I choose you because you have faced the reality of it. It's been years on end feeling the same way, knowing that families have been destroyed by such a matter, but you will be able to stand strong to say, I don't want any child going through what I've went through. I don't want any family being destroyed the way my family has been destroyed. And the beauty of it is that you are old enough to handle that. But what about children who are traumatized from a very young age, that their family has become destroyed because of divorce and other logistics that came along with it? So that's when I became comforted that, okay, I understand that it's also for other generations, for other people as well, to stand in the gap. And I ultimately know that even if it was me also at the same end, maybe I was at a very young age, I would love for someone to stand in the gap for my family, to make sure that we don't separate, we don't divorce. Instead, we stand together and continue becoming a beautiful family and growing as well.
And you know, when Aloiso, these are conversations that we definitely have to have, especially with Ulucha or Lukoi, especially to the young ones, man, who are growing up. Because I mean, a divorce is something that definitely happens to our parents. You know, one moment they're happy, we look up to them. You know, you see mama kono tatako bonwabile, banoluthando, lunqwenelela impilo yakho when you're old. And then now down the line, you find out both of them probably want different things, and it's okay. You know, it's totally okay. It's like a relationship when you find that it's not working and that both of you need to take some time out. It's okay. But I feel like this is definitely a conversation. I love how you're mentioning, like, the Holy Spirit is there. You have somebody to turn to, because at times izihlobo zethu kwakunye ke nabantu esihlala nabo, siblings, it's hard to talk to such people because you've got this anger, you've got so much happening. But when you turn to the Holy Spirit, you find that you're able to worship, you're able to cry. Uzive man, like, you know, after worshiping, you feel so good about yourself.
Very true.
And I'm grateful that I'm actually talking to you now, Bangabake. There's actually life as an individual, as a umntana wabazali bakho after divorce.
Yes,
But
definitely.
now, Loyiso, parents have divorced. Mama no tata mhlawumbe abasahlali endaweni enye. How do you maneuver?
All right.
You find that you're spending more time with the mother. You find that you're spending more time with the father. Akukho commotion, bakuthenza spending needs with the other one. Like, how did you handle all of that?
Okay, it's drastic. I think for the first few months, it was very difficult, to the sense that I got to a point of feeling and thinking that every male is the same. So I hated males. I literally hated my dad. I went through a time where I was like, he doesn't exist in my life, basically. And I blamed him literally for everything and for breaking up our family. So it was that kind of a life for some few months. And then afterwards, like, literally, as I said, that moments with the Holy Spirit then told me to forgive my dad, you know, and to work together in making sure that I show him love, to the point where he got me to realize my own sins, you know, and that it's not true that every male is the same. It's just that people make mistakes and ultimately they try to become better people. So it's a matter of loving him because he's still my dad, and that won't change for anything. But it was also crucial for me to forgive, so that I don't become a bitter person towards any other male and blaming them for what my parents have done or the issue that was at hand at home. So literally, me, then I had to start small anyana kancinci nje ndimane
Uthi chu.
ndisondela kuye kancinci kancinci. But one thing I know, my dad has always loved me. He still does love me, you know. So it was a thing where I had to then just get close again to him, spend more time with him. To be honest, I spend more time with my mom. He knows that. She knows that as well, because ultimately I'm more closer to her in each and everything. But he doesn't complain about the fact that I'm spending more time with her, but he accepts it, and he's just happy for the fact that he hasn't lost me as his child, and we are building our relationship day in and day out. He lives a bit far from where I am, so it's a bit difficult to see him all the time, but we do catch up like via the phone, etc., and all of those things. So we're gradually building up the relationship as well, and making sure that we truly do show off our love.
Oh man, I love this. I love this. I love this. Umfundisi Ntiso uthi kena kumfundisi egciwa msasazi wami umfundisi Ntiso. Thank you so much, man, for gracing us with your presence. I
Thank
know that we're
you.
definitely blessed. Also joined by Butsandiso Hlahla uthi kena hi msasi ndihleli nani from Epal. Ndibulisele nakwindwendwe elo. Sabulisa kowe,
Oh,
sabulisa.
thank
Thank you, man,
you.
so much. I see I'm also joined by Uthandile naye ndimtheche. Venu ngiyawubona. Nabanye ke ndibatheche ngaleli xesha. If you have just joined us, we are in conversation, man, with a PR officer, blogger, an entrepreneur, and author. What else do you do? You do so many things. Don't in fact, like, what don't you do? Like, what's happening?
Yeah. There's a lot I don't do.
Like, how do you balance everything? So it's like, oh my Mac, I feel like yeah, we can't 8 to 5, but in between, there's just so much. Unai weekend to even have you like something called the weekend whereby you relax, you have time to yourself.
Yes, definitely. I have made sure that I do take time off, especially just to spend with my family as well. Because for me, through it all, I've learned that family is actually something that you need to connect with, and they are the best thing that can be there for you because they support you and you need them by your side. So I make sure, at least on weekends, especially specifically Saturdays, I make sure that I'm at home, or we go out with my mom. I make sure that I go see my dad, etc., and all of those things. But the other days, I know for sure, if it's work literally, then after work, in between, on certain days can be church, and then at the same time it can be work, like my own personal work, in the sense of business, and also making sure that I write and all of those things. But yeah, it's not easy. It's not easy. It is not easy. Sometimes you can be lacking on one part or one end, and then, but you also try to make sure that you go back and you fix again, because there's just a lot that you're dealing with.
Yo, I can definitely understand. What's next for you? What can we definitely look forward to?
I'm definitely seeing myself in TV.
Okay,
Definitely.
okay,
Yes.
okay, okay,
Yes.
okay,
My
okay.
interest is basically in TV, talk shows as well on television. So that's the main thing. That's the main thing I'm working hard for right now. And I believe definitely I will get there.
No, you will.
I'll definitely get there. So yeah, man, I believe that's next. But also just making sure that my businesses grow.
Oh yes.
They are still small enterprises right now, but I'm making sure that gradually there's a lot of work put in to make sure they grow and they become better, meeting new people, networking with people,
Yes.
and making sure as well that we just show off the same interest that we have and become better, specifically as young people. You know, I believe a lot in us as young people, and that we are able to do greater things as well. So yeah, definitely. I'm seeing that, and I believe a lot when it comes to young people.
And one thing, when you have faith, trust, and believe, you're getting into like you.
Yeah, definitely.
Social media. We want to follow you. We want to find out what you're doing next and what is going to be coming up. Where can we find you?
All right, definitely on Facebook, I am Loyiso MAKISI. Then as well, you can find me on Instagram, which is Loyiso_MAKISI. Twitter, I'm not really there. TikTok as well, Loyiso_MAKISI. I'm also there, so you can find me on those social media platforms.
And any last words? Because in fact, looking at time, we're calling it a day with you. On the invasion.
Wow, I'm honored. I'm honored. It's to say, young person, you can do it. You can definitely do it. God, as long as God is your pillar, God is your strength. As long as you make sure that you move with His direction and His instruction, then definitely you can do it. Everything is possible through Christ. So do not be defeated. Don't pull down. Don't give up. But make sure that you can do it. Believe it yourself, because if you want to become something in life and you don't believe it, you can't become it, and people can't believe on your behalf. But it has to be you who believes on your behalf, and certainly God will move through what you believe, what you have faith in, and indeed it will become as you believe. So believe, trust God, and make sure that you can do it.
Oh my goodness, like I'm Nandi. It's been good. It's been lovely. And we wish you nothing but the best. And here's to seeing you on TV very, very soon. I
Oh
know I'm ready
yes.
for that. All right. We're joined by Super all the way from the Western Cape or Chester. Thank you so much, man, for joining me. And looking at time, it is exactly 46 minutes after 2 o'clock. We're left with about 13 and a half minutes just before we call it today. And going to be giving over to the next team. But I will be back just shortly to say my goodbyes.